Hi, I'm Marty Levinson, and welcome to the Northtown News Magazine.
Hello, I'm Marty Levinson, and welcome to the Northtown News Magazine.
Hi, I'm Marty Levinson. Welcome to the Northtown Neighborhood News Magazine.
For the identity of the real Marty Levinson, please stay tuned for the Northtown News Magazine.
Come on, baby, don't you wanna go? Come on, baby, don't you wanna go?
Hey there, I am really Marty Levinson. Don't let anybody fool you. Welcome to the Northtown News Magazine show with the greatest cameraman around, Sonny Hirsch, and your host, Avi Myers.
Thank you, Marty. Avi Myers, Northtown Neighborhood News Magazine. A presentation of Sonny Hirsch and myself. Check us out on the web at ntnm.org, communitypolicingcaps24.org. I'd like to point out, I keep forgetting to mention this on TV. You just talked about it. I want to thank Gary Kenzer for mentioning it. If you're getting emails from me for all kinds of strange by this, by that, I not only got hacked, I've changed passwords, I've done all kinds of things you're supposed to do. I've changed my virus software, I've gotten additional stuff. None of it works. So if you're getting that stuff from me, it ain't me. But that's also why you're not getting the weekly reminders about the show, because, you know, like, I'm going to have to go prove a case, but I've been blocked by Gmail and Yahoo and a whole bunch of the others. So we'll just have to deal with it. It is a pleasure to introduce you to the Executive Director internationally, is it?
North America. It's more than enough.
North America of Honest Reporting. And by the way, when somebody sees me with my Honest Reporting T-shirt, they will, I do wear it.
There you go.
They will say to me, there's no way in the world that a newspaper is doing honest reporting. I said, for the most part, you're not 100% wrong, but this is somebody who checks the newspapers to see what's honest and what's not. And of course, we're talking about, even if he is a Sox fan like my brother and the rest of the family, Gary Kenzer.
Hey, how are you? Good to be
Good.
back. Well, it's been dull for the last couple of months, so nothing to report.
Yeah,
No.
right.
So it's actually interesting that we start out by talking about the email that you've been hacked.
Yeah.
Because it's one of the things we rely very heavily on is not only the social media, but email as well to get our message out. And it's part of the new thing that I'm teaching people in all over the country that I speak about how to be a smart email user. That once you get hacked or once you get into the spam folder of everybody, it's pretty hard. It's like climbing up sand. It's very difficult to do that. So you have to be smart. Like if I ask the viewers here, how many people send out emails to mass groups like you?
Yeah.
I would say even young and old. Age is not the issue here. Everybody says, yes, of course. I do it social media, but I also do it on email as well. And so we always tell people that we want people to read the stuff. Like if they forward, hopefully they forward the honestreporting.com daily emails that come out. People can certainly subscribe to it. But that if they forward it, that the best thing to do is several things. If I were to ask you, what would be the first thing you would do if you were forwarding an email? You got an email and you want to forward it. What would the first thing be that you would do?
Well, I would open up the email itself.
And?
Hit forward.
No. Next, what's the first thing you would do?
Type in the other address, a new address.
Not true. Not yet. See, this is very, and you're a smart person.
Maybe.
The first thing you do when you get an email and you want to forward it is you check the validity of the email.
Oh, by the way, I should tell you that I usually do. Depending on the tone of the email. Now, it depends how it looks. Because I've learned that certain organizations, like if it's a send me money thing, I wouldn't forward that to anybody. I can recognize fake logos.
Yeah, but the content
pictures
that you get, how many people have ever received an email that was so stupid and that the information was so wrong or old information? Probably all of us get that.
Yeah.
And what's your opinion of the person who sent that email?
Well, basically, that's got to be hacker stuff.
Not necessarily. Actually, I've had people send me email about stuff from Israel from the 2014 war. thinking that it's current.
Whoa.
Trust me, people think that that's current information.
I'm not shocked somehow, given all the misinformation.
Yeah, there's a lot of misinformation. So you check the validity of the information, and you check it whatever your comfort level is. I mean, whether it's be Google, you check it by Google, you check it by Snopes, whatever you check. That's your opinion. That's how you. Then what's the next thing you do?
Well, actually, you know what? One of the things I do if I'm the least bit suspicious, on top in your file options on top, there's a more options thing.
Right.
And it'll go view full header.
Bingo. Exactly. Very important. But how many people do that? Let's be honest with you.
Well, actually,
people should.
I do, depending, because I remember the first time this happened to me, and it was whatever company had Comcast before it was Comcast.
Mm-hmm.
And they were sending out thousands of things in my name.
Correct.
Thousands.
Us too.
And people would be yelling and I started answering like an idiot, not realizing how many there were.
Right.
And I'd go, it ain't me, but
same thing. So
yeah.
So you're on the defense already, which is not a good position to be in.
No, it's terrible.
Because you're never able to catch up. So the next thing you do after you validate the information is get rid of all the BCCs, because people don't BCC, they CC.
Yeah.
Okay, and when you have an email address in the body of a letter of an email, and you see pages and pages and pages of email addresses, don't you ever get that? I'm sure all of us get that. You know what happens? That's like screaming out loud personal information in a crowd. And what happens is there are software programs that actually go out there on the internet and find those email addresses and steal them.
Wow.
Now, maybe you got hacked that way. I have no idea. There's never any way to definitively tell. But never forward an email that has lots of other email addresses. So clean it up.
By the way, I always do BCC, in terms of the other people on the list. One of the things I do know is that legitimately Amazon had me change my password.
Good.
And the reason they did it is because somebody hacked a list.
Oh, yeah.
And published a whole bunch of passwords, which included the same password I had for Amazon.
Well, it's amazing that this stuff can actually be done, and there are software programs that do this. So you get rid of all the email addresses that are in the system already, okay? So you don't forward information that has everybody else's personal information. Get rid of it. Then you clean it up, and what we suggest is actually, when you forward something, it says FW, right?
Yeah.
You don't want that, because that's code basically sometimes for junk mail. So you want to delete the whole subject line and retype it fresh. Then there's one last thing before you hit send. And it's very important, and that is give people the opportunity to opt out. Not everybody, you should assume, wants your emails. And you could literally be trashed. Your email could be eliminated by the server. Like Google is big on, if you spam too many people and your email address is reported, they can take your email address away from you. So you've got to give people the opportunity to opt out of your list.
One of the things I did learn is that if 5%, with certain of these things, if more than 5% of your emails is directed toward a non-existent address,
you're in trouble.
That's a ban point. But the thing is, I'm always careful about having the right address.
You just have to be careful. So the other thing is you send it and then you hit go. But I want to share with you, because already our time is flying by right now, and I have so much to share. I want to share with you. So I've been on the road for the last 3 months, and I've done a lot of speaking, probably to close to 40,000 people.
Wow.
In Texas, in Florida, in Arizona, in California, in New York, and just all over the country. And in Winnipeg in March, which is an interesting place to be after being in California the week before. It was pretty cold, but beautiful. The Jewish community in Winnipeg is real special, a real special community. So anyway, so one of the things that I had told to me in southern Florida was somebody said they ought to fire the PR marketing firm that handles the marketing and public relations for Israel. Let me make sure I heard that correctly. You said they ought to fire the marketing and PR firm that handles the Israel information. Is that what you said? Yes. She says, who is it? I said, do you know who it is? Do you know who it is? Trick question. Oh, I got him. You know who it is? It's all of us.
Yeah.
It's all of us. And yes, we should be fired because we stink at it and we've got to get better. And the time to get better is months, years ago. We need to get better because the other side is pretty darn good.
See, we have this problem with honesty. And I'm not saying be dishonest. But you know what? You can sell something and in an honest manner that'll make your case.
Right.
You know, when God offered the Torah to the Arabs, they asked what's in the Torah.
Right.
And he said, thou shalt not steal. And the Arabs laughed and says, no, thanks.
Well, I think, we have to be better at toting what we do right. Because too many people feel, it's not my job, it's somebody else's job. Or everybody knows who's really the best part of the Middle East. And you know what? Nobody knows. Today it's all about message, 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 repeat, repeat, repeat. And who gets the message out the strongest is the one that repeats it often. That's a common human frailty, but it's what we have to live with.
It's true.
And we don't get our message out enough. And we have to get our message out. And it's a fantastic message. I also worked a lot in the last couple of months with the BDS movement or the anti-BDS movement, but people want to know more about BDS. And BDS, for people who may not know it, is boycott, divest, and sanction. And quite frankly, I issue the challenge to any BDS group. Go for it. Boycott Israel. I'd like to see how you boycott Israel. And I'll tell you two very fun stories, very short stories. So I had the University of Denver that emailed me their website from the BDS chapter out there. And they wanted me to take a look at it. So I looked at it, and it was amazing. It was pretty good. Why did they send it to me? Probably because I'm in media. And I looked at it a little carefully, and I found out who their server was. Their server was an Israeli server, Wix.com. It's a great server.
Yeah.
So I emailed them back, and what do you think I said to them?
Why are you doing this?
No, I said it very positively, not negatively.
Yeah.
My positive was, thank you for supporting the Israeli economy. True enough, isn't it? And they said, what do you mean? And I said, it's Wix.com is an Israeli server. And they responded back and they said, oops. And then the other story I have to share is when I had a BDS group that had actually stood up. And, kids today have their notes on their cell phones. So they have all their notes on the cell phone. And they're holding up their iPhone. I said, give me that phone. Can't use it. Why? You know how much research and development money is invested from Apple in Israel? And now Microsoft is totally in Israel. The CEO of Microsoft about a month ago was in Tel Aviv and said, Israel is like a gift of a heaven on earth. And we love heaven and we love Israel. So now they do so much of their development now in Israel. So you go ahead and boycott Israel. Let's see you do it.
By the way, that's not to mention little things like some of those devices and pacemakers.
You can't do it. Just one last funny story. There was a cartoon that came out a couple of days ago, and it said the doctor was standing over a surgery table, and the doctor said, I know that you boycott Israel, so we're going to have to cancel your surgery. And the doctor said, and the patient says, why? He says, because everything that we're going to do comes from or was researched and developed in Israel. And so the patient stands up then and says, can I please use my telephone to call my family? And the doctor says, that's from Israel too. So you're darned if you do, darned if you don't. And the truth is, we'd like people to go to our website. Quite honestly, we want people to go to our website, honestreporting.com. We refresh it daily, sometimes more than daily. Sometimes we refresh it 3-4 times a day. Get our daily news. It tells you all that's going on in the Middle East and how Israel's part of the Middle East and the world.
And it'll also let you know which newspapers tend to generally report things inaccurately. You'd be surprised.
Absolutely.
The New York Times has been first or second in the Dishonest Reporting Awards more often than I could tell you.
Come read it. Thank you so much for letting me come back.
Thank you. I want to thank you very much, Gary Kenzer. honestreporting.com. Go to their website,
honestreporting.com.
Real good. Thank you.